Greetings and salutations. Thank you for lending an ear to The Voice of the Times this Monday, June 7, 2021. For today's editorial, cyberattacks threaten Philippine and other economies. The Philippines should review its cybersecurity programs given the increasing frequency of ransomware attacks and similar crimes being committed online. Ransomware attacks around the world rose 62% to 304 million incidents in 2020, the highest level in 4 years according to Statista, a provider of market and consumer data. The United States has been a prime target of ransomware and other cyber attacks, about 15,000 incidents just in 2020, according to a recent CNN story. The situation is so grave now that the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI, even compares it to a 9/11 moment. The economic cost to the US of the Al-Qaeda attack in September 2001 was estimated by the New York Times to be about $123 billion. The US government is now rallying the private sector there, admitting it cannot fight cyber terrorism alone. The attacks, after all, have been indiscriminate, targeting everything from a pipeline to private firms and even non-profit organizations. Closer to home, more than 7,000 Philippine companies encountered ransomware attacks in 2020, based on a Kaspersky Security Network report quoted in a recent story by the Manila Times. Fortunately, the attacks were all blocked. The Kaspersky report added web threats in the Philippines increased more than 59% to some 44.4 million detections in 2020, compared to the year before. This data shows cybercriminals are continuously interested in the Philippines. Yo Siang Tiong, Kaspersky General Manager for Southeast Asia, told the Manila Times. What this tells us is that given our cybersecurity efforts, we cannot be complacent when it comes to cybersecurity. About targeting banks, Mr. Yo added financial institutions were a lucrative target for cyberattacks simply because the money entrusted to them draws attention. He also warned cybercrimes were evolving, becoming more complex and harder to detect. Part of evolution may be attributed to the fact the perpetrators are not individual hackers in a basement somewhere, but actually state-sponsored operations. In other words, the attacks are now more sophisticated, well-funded, and organized. A recent story in the Japan Times claimed the world's leading bank robbers were North Korean hackers. The story quoted from the 2001 Annual Threat Assessment Report by the US Director of National Intelligence, which accused North Korea of stealing hundreds of millions of dollars from financial institutions and cryptocurrency exchanges, probably to fund government priorities such as its nuclear and missile programs. The Japan Times explained North Korea's cyber programs could be traced back to the mid-1990s. The late leader Kim Jong-il had reportedly said then, "All wars in future years will be computer wars." North Korea reportedly now has a 6,000-man cyber warfare unit known as Bureau 121, according to the Japan Times story. That bureau's recruits are trained in different coding languages and operating systems in order to carry out their attacks. The story also mentioned North Korea has been blamed for a cyber attack on the Bangladesh Central Bank that cost it $81 million, and the 2017 WannaCry ransomware attack that infected some 300,000 computers in 150 countries. Of course, these were denied by the North Korean regime. What cannot be denied is the need for the Philippines and other countries to improve their defenses against the growing threat of cyber attacks. Of course, the private sector too should invest more in cybersecurity, but given the organized nature of cyber threats, the issue should be elevated to the national security agenda. Policymakers should be wary about postponing investments in cybersecurity, even during a pandemic. If cash-strapped states such as North Korea can threaten global financial systems and vital industries with mere computers and internet connection, surely middle-income countries such as the Philippines can establish a credible defense to protect its assets and interests. Moreover, the Philippines should collaborate with its economic and strategic allies to form a united front against cyberattacks and possibly exchange technology and know-how. This is similar to the cooperation and coordination that already exists among law enforcement agencies worldwide. Without these enhancements in cybersecurity, Filipinos might find it more challenging to reap the benefits of a digital world. And that's the editorial for Monday, June 7, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print. Subscribe to our digital edition or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and listen to The Voice of the Times.